Hello and welcome to The Passion Show. My name is Phil and joining me as always is my co-host Kyle.
Hello.
And this week we're joined by
Maelstrom Jetson.
I've been wanting to get you on for ages. Like, I wanted the podcast to be legit before, like, sorted you out, because the stuff that you do is quality, so I just wanted to, like, do you
Cheers,
justice.
man. I appreciate it. Thanks, man.
Yeah, why don't we start by just you telling us a bit about your music, about what kind of music you make and stuff like that?
Yeah, so, like, obviously, I'm Maelstrom Jetson, as, like, a solo artist, but I'm in a group as well called Rare Experience.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, like, as Maelstrom Jetson, my stuff is kind of more, it's still rap.
Yeah,
It is rap, like, but it's very, like, it's got a lot of psychedelic, like, ambient, like, influences to it. And it's a lot more personal. It's a lot more serious. It's a lot more introspective music.
Yeah.
Where, like, my stuff with, like, Rare Experience is a lot more fun. It's just a lot more, like, just having fun.
So
being more spontaneous.
A lot more, like, thought goes into your own music.
Yeah,
in terms of, like, lyrics
exactly.
and stuff like that.
Yeah. So, like, it's very good to be in that space because I can kind of, like, just jump between both where I don't have to go to the studio and be serious all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I can, change different things. So, yeah.
So where did it sort of, like, start for you when you realised you wanted to produce music? You know, how far back does this sort of passion of yours go?
This goes back to, like, to be fair, like, from the very beginning, like, since, like, far back as I could remember, like, I've always loved listening to music anyway.
Definitely.
Just, like, love listening to, it all started with, like old school rap music. So, like, Wu-Tang, like, Nas, Jay-Z, you know, like, back in the day. Because I got it a lot from my older brother.
Yeah.
So, like, from actually making music, it started in, like, 2012, I guess, around 2012 times. And, like, it's one of my friends is back in, like, BlackBerry days. So, like, one of my friends, on his BlackBerry, he used to just post a lot about, he's making music. I'm like, what do you mean you're making music? What are you doing? And it's like, I'm at he used to go to, like, some leisure center where, like, you could go in and then kind of, like, just record stuff and stuff. So I was like, he just told me, come along, like, one time. I was like, yeah, whatever, but I'm not making music. I'm just gonna come along. But from then on, I was just so fascinated with the way, like, everything was put together, like, you know, being in the recording, the process of
Even
it.
just watching it,
Yeah. So I went in there, like, a couple of times, just, like, see what everyone's doing. I was like, I think I could do this as well. And then, from then on, I just love making music from then. And then the passion of it kind of started growing from there.
What have you done recently? Like, what songs and albums and things?
Yeah. So I released an EP last year as Maelstrom Jetson. It's called Flashbacks and Premonitions.
Oh, yeah.
That's out everywhere now as well.
Okay,
so
cool.
this year we're releasing a lot more. I'm gonna release a lot more stuff as Rare Experience, and then more stuff as Maelstrom Jetson towards the end of the year. So we actually shot a music video yesterday, actually.
Oh, nice.
So yeah. It was over the past 2 days. We finished up yesterday. So yeah, we have a lot of things in the works, like, coming.
You mentioned you went to these, like, sessions and even just, like, watching the process of music getting made. You said you found that quite interesting. Do you also enjoy, like, playing live as well? Have you done much of that?
Yeah. We done quite a lot of it last year as well. We have another performance next month. I think it's March the 28th. I think it is. We're supporting. Get it in your calendar. We're supporting a group called Alcohol Republic.
Okay.
So they're twins, actually, rappers. So we're on there. We're going to be supporting them along with, like, people like Red Letter. There's a couple others as well. I can't remember the names, but that's the next show. That again is as Rare Experience.
Yeah, is this in Manchester?
Yeah, this is in Manchester. It's at Bar Barca in on Deansgate.
Cool.
So come through.
I've been to one of your gigs, and like, the second you started performing, the entire room just lit up. Like, it was. What was that night like?
It was crazy because I was nervous as hell, like, earlier that day, because it was the first performance I did and I've done in a very long time. So I was just practicing on a lot, like, early in the day, trying to, like, get into the process of it. But I remember, like, when I got on, after like a couple of seconds, I was just zoned into what I was doing. I wasn't even like nervous anymore, and it was a very surreal experience, because when you're in that zone, it's like everything just disappears.
It was
like,
fucking sick.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. It was a lot of fun, man. It really was. And then just from then, just kept doing more shows, and it's just become a lot more natural. Yeah.
So just still get nervous, or is it pretty much just natural to you now that you know you enjoy
that?
that?
Yeah, a lot more, because I've noticed a lot more. It's a lot more excitement now than nervousness. Like I don't really get nervous like getting on stage anymore. So yeah.
You were talking about like inspirations. So who specifically inspired you?
It's weird, because I've gone through a lot of phases in terms of listening to music. As far as I can remember, like back, I remember playing like PlayStation 2, like Gran Turismo, like Tekken Tag Tournament.
Yeah.
And then my older brother used to always play like Nas, Jay-Z, like, you know, the old school rappers. He used to always play that all the time. And then I kind of went through a phase where I was listening to a lot of Dizzy Rascal. So that's like more UK music. I kind of started getting into UK music after that. And then Kanye West came along, so I listened to like College Dropout for a period of time. And then just from, let's say from that time, that was about like primary school days. So going from there into like high school, all I listened to was like UK music. That's all I was listening to for a long period of time. And then I remember 2008, my older brother took me to see Block Party one time in this is when he was in London, and that was the first time I was listening to music like just so out of what I used to listen to, and I was just like, what
they do
hell?
Helicopter, don't they?
Yeah. And it was a Easter it was Easter day as well. I remember that performance. And I remember going to that gig just like starstruck, just like, what the hell is this? I've never because I'd never heard music like this before.
Yeah.
Like, especially that was around the period like indie music was like getting quite
like guitar music, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember that Helicopter by Block Party. It was on Guitar
Of his
Hero.
their first album, wasn't it? Yeah,
it's a sick song. It was on Guitar Hero, but I had it on the DS. Do you remember when you had to like put the finger on the back? Got 100% on it. It was sick.
Yeah. I remember, so from that period, I used to listen to them a lot. I listened to Falls, Bombay Bicycle Club, what's that? Vampire Weekend. Like, that circle, I used to listen to them
that's quite a contrast to like what you used to listen to, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's quite a range. Do you try to implement the range of music that you've listened to in your music?
Yeah. The actual funny thing is that I get influenced a lot from music that's not rap music.
Yeah.
Like even like at the moment I'm listening to a lot of Tame Impala at the moment.
Yeah, man, listen to the Slow Rush.
Sick, the Slow Rush.
It's so
amazing
good.
album. Yeah,
so
I've had that on like rotation the last
same.
like couple of weeks. And I'm listening to King Cruel's new album as well. You heard of King Cruel?
No.
King Cruel's awesome as well. Yeah, it's kind of like Tame Impala a little bit, but it's a lot more aggressive. It's a lot more rock, like proper rock music. Where Tame Impala is more psychedelic. Isn't it?
Definitely.
I'm listening to. Let me pull up my Spotify. Actually, see what I'm listening to.
The new Tame Impala album's sick though. It's proper amazing.
Crazy,
I don't know if you listen to it, Kyle.
Yeah.
I'm not literate when it comes to
music. I ripped into Kyle's Spotify once. I was like,
what have you got on your Spotify, Kyle?
Let's not go there.
As long as it's not Backstreet Boys.
It's like McFly and shit like that.
His playlist is made. It's made up of like
come on, mate.
now this is like 98 and all that. So all those playlists.
That's you need to slap him.
I ripped into it once. I was like, Carl, your music tastes shit. You listen to shit music.
But I'm listening to Little Dragon. You heard of Little Dragon? No. They're from Sweden as well. They're awesome.
I've been listening to the new Eminem album as well.
Yeah,
sick. I really like it.
Sick as well. Yeah,
I feel like it's a good little return to form for him.
Yeah, but like again, just going back to like the phases again. It's like so I was listening to that for ages, and then kind of like around, let's say late high school to like college days, then I started getting into more like electronic music. So like dubstep and like a bass line, funky house. It was like that was like around the period a lot of that was coming through, and then I kind of went through like a phase. I was listening to psychedelic music. It's just been so many different phases and so many different types of music as I've listened to over the years. Yeah.
I know when people ask me about like, oh, what music do you listen to, I really struggle these days to come up with an answer, because I listen to like such a range.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And
like,
it depends on your mood as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Depends,
like, you can listen to, so like I've said, I've been listening to the two albums that I'm listening to the most now is The Slow Rush by Tame Impala and Music to Be Murdered by Eminem, which is just like totally different. It's hard to like pin down.
Yeah.
So I find that quite interesting.
Yeah,
that you've been listening to.
That's cool.
Quite
I would
range.
definitely recommend like King Cruel's album, and that album's amazing too. So yeah.
Yeah. So where are you hoping to go with like your music career then? Where what you want to do? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think with music is the thing, especially me as a person. I'm a person that I'm really always in the moment. So obviously, like I wish like for my music to like go to where like amazing heights, but at the same time, it's about keeping in mind to just follow the process and just like work hard within the moment you're in, and then the music will do what it needs to do. So I'm a person. I don't really like looking ahead too much. I just like being in the now, and then where the music goes to, it will go to. It all depends on what you do now. So.
Yeah, I think a sentiment that we always sort of come across on the podcast is that when people are doing like things that they're passionate about, like with your music and stuff, they tend not to be as bothered by the overall success of it in the future. They just people want to do it because they want to do it, and if it turns out well, that's like just a bonus. You know what I mean? Because I feel like we'd all be doing these things regardless if they were like, you know, making money or whatever, because it's what we enjoy.
Exactly, because I think even like excluding the music, I think just me as a person, I've always learned to, if I'm just in the moment and then I just do my own thing, then you instantly attract positive energy towards you. And I think it's the same with music. Like I don't make music to like for people, for like someone to, you know, if you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. I don't make it for the appreciation of people. I just make it for myself, and then people will get drawn towards it. So yeah, that's all that matters at the end of the day.
I think that's quite nice. That
it's really, really humble and respectable. Yeah.
But it's like Kyle said, like when he said when you came on stage, when he saw you, and he said like the room just sort of lit up. It's probably because you were just focused on that moment.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It was a boss night again.
Cheers, thank you.
It's like how times have changed is a banger. Like we were listening to it.
Yeah, you
like,
showed me before. It's a sick song, man.
Cheers. Yeah, that's about my friend who's in Rare who I'm in Rare Experience with, especially the second verse, because he was talking about the first time like he told us that he was having a child. So I was just painting the picture of that moment on the second verse. Yeah, that was so weird because we're in the studio and we're like just so high in the studio, like we smoked a lot, and then I remember walking into the studio and he wasn't himself, like he was just sat in the corner. So I was like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, why are you sat in the corner? It's just like, no, I just need to think through things. I'm just like, yeah, whatever. And then like I was like recording and stuff, and then all of our friends was there, and then he went, guys, I've got something to tell you. And we were just there like, oh my God, what did you do? Like, what have you done? Because we thought he's done something bad or something. It's like, oh, what have you done, mate? And he was just like, oh, I'm having a kid. I was like, oh. And like the whole room exploded and everything. Nice, And then we were so happy for him. Yeah.
The fact that you've turned it into a song is going to be like such a personal like thing to that kid.
Yeah, because I remember playing it to him for the first time. He was quite emotional about it because he remembers that moment as well. So it was good to, that verse, the second verse was for him. It was good to have that on the song. Yeah.
Do a lot of your lyrics have like really like pivotal sort of moments for you? Like really personal moments? Yeah, especially
flashbacks and premonitions, because that EP, it was during quite like a dark time as well, like in my life, because it was like a period where I was like going through a lot of trying to find a purpose in terms of like what was going on in my life at that time, because I left uni because I wanted to do music like properly. But because I was doing that, then on top of that, I was just like in a world where I was just like, okay, like what am I actually doing?
Yeah.
So
without like a goal.
yeah,
goal.
like what am I actually doing apart from music? You know what I mean? Because I don't have a lot else to fall back on and stuff like that. So so like that, I kind of captured that whole period within that EP because it's called Flashbacks and Premonitions. So it's talking about the future, like because I was in that. When I was in that space, I was thinking a lot about the future, about the past.
Yeah, about how the past influences what you've like
Yeah.
where you are now and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah, exactly. And then like talking about it, but in the present of what I was in at that time. So I think that EP, it really captured like quite a dark time within my life at that period of time. Yeah.
But you've created something out of it, which I think's
Mm-hmm.
really interesting. Like we were talking to someone the other day about tattoos. He was a guy from my work, and he said he went through like kind of like a dark place at one point. You know, like he just came out of a relationship and he got like loads of tattoos after it, basically because she had loads of tattoos, and he was like,
okay.
I'm just gonna fucking get tattoos. But he was like, even though it was like a dark time, he looks back on it kind of fondly because he got all his tattoos from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I like the idea of bringing something positive out of something negative.
Yeah. That's what I
really
was about to
interesting.
say actually, because like whatever situation I'm in, even if it's like a very negative situation, I always try and see a positive
Yeah,
out
definitely.
of it and try and like, because I think you go through those situations for a reason, and it's just about learning from the situation and how do you elevate from that situation.
Definitely,
that counts.
definitely.
So yeah.
That's boss. My interviewing skills are terrible. Have you noticed?
It's great. It's you. It's Calvin. It's all good.
He's already said sorry about 4,000 times today.
It's all good, man.
Is there anything else specifically you want to talk about to do with the music? Like any aspects that you're like interested in? We haven't really talked about music production much. Did you like the producing side of stuff?
Well, to be fair, like most of my material, I don't actually produce it. I work with other producers as well. But I started producing actually like 2 years ago. I'm still like dabbling in it, but
it's difficult,
I wouldn't say like I'm like a full blown like producer. Like I can like put together kind of some skeletons and then work with another producer to kind of add stuff together, and then it will be like a collaboration that way. But with production, it's something I do want to do a lot more. It's just I'm just very focused on writing because that's what comes natural to me.
That's your main sort of influence, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's very
I think when working in like the music industry, I think stuff like mixing and editing and all that just comes naturally the longer you're there. You know what I mean? The more you understand music and how it's put together.
Yeah,
which is quite interesting in itself, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's just easier for me. Because if I'm drawn into something, I just put my full focus into it. And I think with production, because I'm so into putting my focus in writing, that producing is just more something to do along with it, not to put the same effort with it, if that makes sense. Or probably not effort, but like
I like the idea of like collaboration as well. Like you said, like it's good to get like another mind in, you know what I mean, to work on it, and fresh eyes and stuff like that, because maybe if you're working on something solely, you can get like tunnel vision, and
exactly.
you might sort of not realize, like you'll be able to like provide criticism and stuff like that you might need to further the track.
Because it's simple, because I work with two producers called Geo Magic. They're called Geo Magic. One's called T-Box, and then one's called Nelson. They're both brothers as well. And then it's weird because they both produce, but they produce in completely different ways. Their sound is completely different. Wow. So like with T-Box, his stuff is kind of more wavy. Is a lot more like, it's a more of like a vibe. Like his production is a lot more vibe. And then Nilsson is just more like, if you want to slap someone in the face, like that's the type of beat he goes for. So you kind of know when you go there, you're like, I'm feeling angry today. Yeah, let me get these stuff. Or I feel like I want to fall in love today. You know,
at least you can get some
other. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But they're both like incredibly talented producers. Like they're amazing. So yeah,
definitely.
the artwork on your albums as well is brilliant. I snagged one of your graphic designers, Sam Beswick.
So
Like I saw his art for it was like a little picture of you on a boat.
Oh
in,
yeah,
like, a river.
for Millennium Falcon.
and
Yeah.
That, I thought that was quality.
Yeah,
so like
that
I
was
just
incredible.
hit him up and I was like, make us a logo for the fashion show.
Yeah.
It's boss.
Yeah,
It's boss.
he's another person. He's very, very easy to work with, man,
Yeah.
because obviously because I used to work with him as well. So just like every time he was just a really cool dude. He's just very like calm, like chilled. You could tell he smokes a lot as well. And like we just got talking one time, and I didn't even know he was a graphic designer. I just thought he was just like in uni, just doing other things. And then I seen some of his work. I was just like, what the fuck?
It's
You're
insane,
awesome.
it's
Like
insane.
some of your stuff is awesome. So we got together, and then we created that. And with him, I kind of didn't really want to go with him with an idea. I want it like this. I want it like this. I want it like this. I kind of told him. I sent him the music for flashbacks and premonitions, and then I just told him, just interpret it your way. Like with this specific song, like how do you see this song through artwork? And then he came up with that. So,
and it looks great as well.
Yeah, it's sick.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Is there anything else like that sort of interests you about music that you want to particularly chat about?
Yeah, I like a lot of art, I guess.
Yeah. Well, tell us about it.
Yeah, because like with because music is like is always been my main passion, but I do like I do play video games a lot.
Yeah.
Call of Duty. I'm quite addicted to Call of Duty right now. It's weird. I've been watching the esports. Do you watch esports?
I watch a bit of Smash Bros.
Oh, Smash
competitive.
Bros. Yeah. And they've just made like a new league it's called the Call of Duty League.
Yeah.
And like I've been watching that a lot. It's so awesome. I'm just like, what the hell? Because the thing about like that is their reaction times.
Yeah.
Their reaction is just ridiculous.
It's
like
crazy.
what? Because I play online and I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. And then you'd see their reaction times. And I was just like, how are you doing that? It's ridiculous.
I'm looking forward to uni finishing, so in like a couple of months, so I can just play COD all day. That's the dream.
You have to add me, man. Let's play.
Yeah,
Let's play.
definitely.
I play on like free sensitivity. I'm trash. I could never do what they do.
He just has a rocket launcher shooting down the air. Shit.
Literally, like I do 1v1s and just whip out an RPG.
Yeah. The worst one for me is a sniper. Like I'm terrible with a sniper, but like with like using like actual like assault rifles and stuff like that, that's fine.
Shit.
But I've just always been clueless with a sniper. I don't know why.
On Black Ops 2, I could do it. On Black Ops 2, I was pretty good with it, but I haven't regained the skills since then.
Yeah, but I play a lot of adventure games as well.
Like
which one's the last one I played? The Last of Us.
Nice.
That was like
I've never played it because I've only got Xbox.
But for me, The Last of Us, I think is probably arguably the best game I've ever played.
Whoa.
I think
New
so.
one's
Yeah.
coming soon, isn't it?
Yeah, it's coming soon. But I was gonna get it for my PS4, but apparently the PS5's out soon, like this year. So I might wait to get the PS5 and then get that as well. But honestly, I think that's the best game I've ever played. It's just the storyline, like everything, the graphics is unreal.
I've watched some playthroughs of it. It looks sick, like.
If you get a chance, like, oh yeah, you've got Xbox in it. Sorry, mate. Sorry.
I've got an Xbox and a Switch. The Switch is the best console, though. Easy time.
Yeah.
It's great.
Well, yeah, I've played God of War as well, like the latest one. That was awesome.
Josh has been playing. Josh played a bit of that.
Yeah.
I watched him play that. It looks mental.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane.
Because even after you finish the main storyline, there's a lot more as well. There's like little mini like missions you have to do on it as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, like along with that, I think since summer last year, I've just been a lot more in touch with like seeing things from like a visual perspective.
Yeah.
So like just being more creative in like a visual thing. So looking at art, especially like because before you kind of look at art, you're like, oh, it's just a painting, but there's a lot of like deeper meaning to it.
So what sort of art are you looking at? Like,
so like I've been seeing, it's not just like art, but like kind of design in general.
Yeah.
So stuff like product design, like for example, so like let's say, for example, the Instagram, like the app itself, like how it functions and stuff like that. I've been interested in, like, how do they do like that? Because you just use Instagram. You don't kind of like look into, like, you know, the details of how the different components kind of come together to make it what it is.
It sounds like you're thinking quite creatively about everything. You know, you're trying to find like a creative edge to stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, because I've watched because you got Netflix, right? Yeah. Have you ever watched Abstract?
No.
Yeah, it's like a documentary series. Abstract. So like each episode is the interview like a person that's really like has a really high level in their field of design or art. So one episode could be about like product design, then they interview someone that is like specific to product design, or like architecture, costume design, graphic design, and it's like on each episode. So I've been watching that a lot, and I watched the one with costume design, which is awesome. It's a woman called Ruth Carter. So she did like the costume design for Black Panther.
Oh, sick.
And but it wasn't even just Black Panther. There's a lot of like films that I've watched over the years that she did the costume design. I didn't even have a clue it was her that did it. So I was just there like, wow, like you did that that as well.
I do like that when you can pinpoint someone's career and you can be like, well, I've liked you for such a long time, but not even known.
Yeah, exactly. And like she kind of each episode they kind of break down the process of what they go through. So she goes through a lot of like you know, going through like the history of what she's trying to create in terms of the costumes she's trying to create for the film. So for Black Panther, she looked back a lot. She looked back at a lot of like African history and like traditional stuff. Like traditional stuff like from ages ago, like and then she incorporated that into the costumes. There's
a cool term for the costuming and like design of Black Panther. It's called Afrofuturism.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's dope. Yeah, to be fair, it is, because it's kind of like, that's true, actually, It's got a lot of African influence, but with a futuristic twist.
With like a modern edge.
Yeah,
it's quite cool.
Exactly, yeah. So, I watched that and just, starstruck from like the creative. I'm always interested in the creative process.
Yeah, well, it's like you said before, like you made a music video yesterday, didn't you? So you're trying to incorporate like visuals to your music and stuff like that, and it feels like you're trying to make it like one whole package. You know what I mean? Where everything is done as best as it can be.
Yeah. But at the same time, I think it's about it being minimalistic as well, because
not going over the top.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like even with like you know, if I'm creating like music as well, it's like I want it to be different, but I don't want it to be like, I still want it to be familiar as well at the same time, but still a bit complex in terms of the way it's put together. Yeah,
I think there's like a balance to it, isn't there, of creating something that people understand and recognize, but also something new. Something that's fresh.
Exactly, because you can gravitate towards people that way as well. So,
and you can get a gauge for especially like if you're writing lyrics that are like quite personal to you, it lets people like engage more. You know what I mean? It lets them in a bit more. So I think that's
it must be like really liberating as well to like let your emotions like run free into the words of your songs.
Yeah, especially like with like the whole like as Maelstrom Jetson as well. It's just been I just find it very easy to just talk about like me. You know what I mean? Like what are you feeling right now? So every time I listen to like music or I listen to like a beat I'm doing for Maelstrom Jetson, like I always ask myself that question: what is this beat making you feel? And then I just write about what it makes me feel, and then it doesn't come more natural than that. So
you just sounds good. You're gonna say something?
No, I was just gonna say that's boss, but I said that like
that's boss, mate. That's boss.
Boss.
Yeah, I'm keeping that. I'm putting that in my next song. It's like that's boss.
Mix it. Yeah.
You just cut it out of the video.
That's just gonna be the hook. That's boss.
I can't wait to see that happen. That'd be sick.
Don't worry. Like if it blows, I'll give you like half at least.
Alright, so I'll take 5%.
think should we sort of wrap it up there? Thanks to Maelstrom Jetson for coming on, telling us all about music.
Thank you.
Been
Thank you very
fascinating.
much.
Thanks to Kyle as always for being my co-host.
Thanks.
Thank you for
Phil,
having me.
being
Man.
mine.
Yeah, no worries, man. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
If you have any passions yourself that you want us to talk about, feel free to leave them in the comments below because we'll always be happy to talk about them.
Or hit us up in the DMs if you want to show your passion on the Passion Show.
Yeah, definitely what he said. But other than that, thanks for listening.
And that's boss.